I've said to make sure that everybody who joins this meeting here or who will be able to receive these recordings will be able to journey with us. I was just saying that this is, I've said, this is our monthly update meetings. Normally, most of our update meetings are exclusive. Okay, Dr. David, you help me to mute people when they come in so that we are able to kind of contain the meeting without a lot of disruption. So if people have their microphones on, kindly just mute them unless they have to speak, so it gives us a bit of a flow. I was just saying that it's an amazing time, and this is one of our best updating meetings. Some of the meetings we have had in the past have been good, but didn't have as much content and as much good news as we have in this particular meeting. And I said one of the biggest good news is that diaspora now has been declared as County 48, but also we are being offered a ministry with a cabinet secretary and many other positions that are coming. I said I was looking at the structures that the government is putting in place, and I realized anybody who's even leading the manifesto, you see that they have almost captured our strategic plan up to about 90% of the Kenyan manifesto. Maybe there is one or two things that we have not captured that is in the manifesto, but majority and by and large of what the government sees as the vision for the next 5 years is what we had already envisioned alongside. So it really gives me a lot of pleasure to say that what God laid in our hearts when we set out this vision, when we started what we are doing, it's very much in line with the vision of the country. The other thing that is critical, just as a way of introduction, is that we've made serious strides in the last maybe about 2 months, and these are tangible steps, beautiful and fulfilling steps. They make you, although there are many challenges on the ground, you can almost feel that the direction that we are taking, difficult though at the beginning, will bear a lot of fruits at the end. So I don't want to say much at this introductory message. I just want to say that we have 3 agendas for today. The first agenda is just to get an update on partners. We've been able to solicit and bring in partners from different parts of the world to make this a success. And one of the partners who is also my strategic advisor is Dr. David Githuku, and I'll get Dr. David Githuku to introduce ACE as a partner, but also to introduce other partners that David and I have visited and met. I'll also introduce one new partner from Kenya. She's had a history working with the United Nations and now very committed to work with us in the that's Waithera Gaither. So I'll introduce Waithera after David has just finished his part. So without taking much time, I'll introduce David. But I said the other 2 agendas, other than David talking about partners, one will be the progress on the city and on the agribusiness campus, and the last one will be the activities that we are doing with the government and the support that has come forth in the last 1 month or so, which maybe I was not able to update in our last meeting. So let's now welcome Dr. David Githuku just to update us on partners that are joining us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. And indeed, exciting news with the progress going on in Kenya in this new government, at least the promises of what is going on, which happens to be very much in line with what you had envisioned. So that is, it is exciting. I bought land, both residential as well as agricultural land at Proximity Point. So like everybody else here, that's how I got involved with the professor. I also bought the contractor/developer membership which is the $1,000 membership. And through that, I've been talking to Professor about, different ways of partnering. One, to envision the city, but also kind of in line with what business that I'm involved in. So I have an online academy for coaching and mentoring small and medium-sized businesses in Kenya. So I live in the States, but as a diasporan and with my 26 plus years of corporate experience, I have felt a calling to give back to help entrepreneurs in Kenya. And so I'm very involved in that. And through the work that I'm doing, I'm actually partnering with Professor on Deed Institute, which is one of his businesses, which does a lot of educational training for youth in particular. So we are working together there. And, so one of the important, just as an example, for the symposium that is coming up in December, one of the 40 businesses that we coach and mentor is an event planning business. So they're going to be partnering with Professor to bring in this to help with the symposium. So that's just sort of an example of how, being a contractor developer member, I can bring in my own, partners and, help execute, a symposium with excellence. So it's not my business, but it is one of the cohort members that are part of ACE. So the thing that I like about the conversations we've had with Professor is that, whatever ideas and innovation that you come up with, there are opportunities to move forward with them. So just another example is, there is a member of ACE who is a long-time farmer, and they've done very serious farming up in the Kitale area. I think they were so enthralled with this vision, they actually moved from Kitale and they're now in Malindi. And so we're going to be partnering with doing farming together, there. So I just wanted to give you kind of a flavor for some of the stuff that is going on as we engage, with Professor. And I'm sure that he has been having multiple conversations with different people on different ideas that they have. And if not, I'm sure that's something that if you have some innovation or other ideas that you want to do with whatever investments that you've been involved in, that he'll be very welcome to, whatever ideas that you have. Now, talking of other partners, I can't remember now, was it in June, Professor came and he invited me to meet with some other US investors, specifically in Minnesota. And there's a company called Lemma, and they're involved in off-grid solar powered energy. And so, in the remote parts, until we get electricity going deep there, I think there are a lot of opportunities to actually have your own off-grid solar power that power, if you have irrigation, that powers the pumps and also lights the houses and so on. So that is a really good partner. And together they have brought other partners in, like Toro. Toro is a big agricultural irrigation company in Minnesota as well. So they're going to be part of the partnership. In fact, Lemma, I don't know if Professor is going to talk about this, but Lemma actually is going to start manufacturing those solar panels at the industrial park in Proximity Point. So again, that's those are the partnerships that are there. And then there's some other partnerships that I don't know fully about, but I know Professor has been continuing to engage with different companies that are going to be of benefit either with construction or with agricultural irrigation and things like that. But it's quickly evolving, and every week it seems like there are more opportunities that are coming up that Professor has. So I'm looking forward as well to hear the conversations he's going to be having about some of the developments that have been happening. So hopefully that's helpful. I am not the person who sends email messages and gives people updates. I am just like you, a member. But yes, I provide a lot of strategic advice to the Professor. And then as a contractor member, I look for those opportunities where there's sort of a win-win partnership between Proximity Point and my business. So that's a little bit about me and the partnerships. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. David, for that very good introduction on the partners. And I think there's something you've clarified towards the end, which is important. The person that actually sends the updates and the email is with us tonight is Eunice Gakuya. And Eunice, I would just like you to say hi if you're in a position to do that. And if anybody wants to reach out to Eunice, Eunice will put on her details. She's our head of administration. She's the administrative head of administration in the Proximity Point. And therefore, she has all your details, whether those who have already gotten involved in any level, if there's any information you've not been able to get, then Eunice is in the meeting tonight and she's able to share that information. Just before we leave this section of partners, I would like to introduce Waithera Gaitho. Waithera is quite new in this journey, but not new in what she does. And I think she's come in full force and very, very helpful in strategic partnership. So Waithera, I'll just give you a minute just to say hello and introduce yourself and introduce your company. And then maybe if you'd like to say one or two words about Camtech and about Elgon Limited, then we'll be able to proceed. I think I've seen Waithera in the meeting, so the floor is yours.
Greetings, everybody. Thank you very much, Prof, for this opportunity. And it's a great honor and privilege to meet each and every one of you, meet you. And I look forward, I believe that you will all be coming to Malindi in December. And so I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. As Prof said, my name is Waithera Gaitho, and I wear many hats, but the two or three that I believe are relevant to this conversation is that, number one, I'm the founder and executive director of social enterprise by the name Alternatives Africa. So at Alternatives, we accelerate youth-owned micro and small enterprises by providing them with affordable financial and non-financial business training, development, and support services up until the age of 40. What we've done is created what we call an affordable ecosystem that includes a national youth circle, a young entrepreneurs association, an agro-hub platform, and a youth economic dialogue platform whereby we are able to advocate for more enabling environment for youth-owned micro and small enterprises by bringing together the private sector, the government or the public sector, sometimes the development sector, and the young entrepreneurs. And we have seen this really contribute to the transformation of the lives of young entrepreneurs. So as a team leader of Alternatives, the other two hats that I wear is that we are members of the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, the apex body of the private sector, KEPSA, as well as the Agricultural Sector Network, which is basically an offshoot of KEPSA and the private sector body that brings together all the agricultural corporate companies. So as the team leader of Alternatives, I'm privileged to sit in both the governing councils of these two platforms. And at KEPSA, I am also the vice chair of the ICT and Youth Sector Board. That said, I pride myself as a youth enterprise evangelist, and I believe that we are raising the next generation of African business leaders. And our goal for the next 15 years is to contribute towards an agro-processing campaign that will see us build globally competitive African brands by value addition. And so, Bonagithuku, I think we do have a place where we are, we are coming together, and perhaps because we are together in this platform, we can see how we can work together to see this transformative project that Prof has indeed come to to life and a reality as it's already doing. Prof has also said that I should mention about Elgon Kenya and who else did you mention? Camtech. So basically, as I've mentioned, I'm sure you already know the statistics of that our post-harvest losses in Kenya are between 20 and 50%, which is extremely high. You're also very aware that 89% of Kenya's land is considered ASAL or rather ASAL, which is arid or semi-arid, meaning that even though it's fertile, even though it doesn't have rainwater. And so it's time for us to take our country to the next level, which is precision agriculture, moving away from rain-fed agriculture, and therefore looking for affordable means. And one of the pilots that you will be seeing in Malindi will be on drip irrigated land, in this particular case, garlic, which the garlic value chain, which we are already working with Prof on. And this is an end-to-end kind of value chain project whereby right from, propagation, seed up to the market. And it's great news that the market linkage is already there. And the whole vision, as I'm sure you already are aware, is to plant 200 acres of garlic. The market is already there. But when you think about the number of jobs that this will create, the number of economic livelihoods that would be provided, then you want to plug in, whether it's as an investor or whether it's as really as an investor or even as a farmer, if you want to come and engage in that farming. So we've got Elgon Kenya, that is one of the oldest agricultural companies in the country. It's been there for at least, I think, 100 years or so. And the MD of Elgon Kenya happens to also be the chair of the agricultural sector. His name is Bimal Kantaria. And then also Camtech is a company that Alternatives has signed an MOU with, based in India, and one of the best companies when it comes to consultancies on food processing zones and agro and food processing zones, as well as access to affordable machinery, and has won a lot of awards in India. That said, as you can see, I'm very happy to come on board, and I consider myself privileged to have met Professor, who I met actually through a youth who is in the cassava value chain at DEED Institute in Malindi, through the National Youth Council, one of the advocacy conversations they've been having on county policies for the youth. And I'm looking forward to engaging with all of you. This is a great opportunity when we think about the diaspora having a city that they can return to home. That's great. But I also want to say, Prof, like I said last time, we used to talk about brain drain, but as time goes by, I personally think that it is brain gain, because the exposure, the expertise, and the experience that is coming back into Africa, coming back to Kenya, is really what we need. Because if we all stayed here, we may not have gotten that exposure that now will take Africa to the next level, that will take Kenya to the next level. So I just want to say thank you and kudos to each and every one of you for whatever you're doing outside there. I believe that it's going to transform our country, our continent, our communities, and our counties. So God bless you all, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Back to you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Waithera. That's very, very encouraging to just hear the potential that is there. And as Waithera rightly said, this thing is starting to expand quite fast. We brought young people to do cassava value chain after we trained them. Remember, we own the DEED Institute, which is a World Bank funded program. And what we do with DEED Institute is to train young people who can partner with the people in the diaspora. And once they have partnered, then we support them to learn the business. We make some profit, they make profit, and things go on. So that's how I came into contact with Waithera, and this has just become an amazing partnership. I want just to give 1 or 2 members. This will be open on the floor, who have a very clear business model or business strategy that you'd like to share what you do and how you see yourself being involved in the city. The reason I always start by giving other people the opportunity to contribute is because I know there are people rushing from work or people who could not connect in time, and I don't like them missing the meat of the presentation. So we're not buying time, because these are amazing connections. Both Waidera and Dr. Gizuku have mentioned one person in common, and that's our new agronomist who has an Israeli background, and he's just kind of stirred us up. He saw the land and he said, "This is gold. I'm moving. I'm coming here." So he said that in June. We thought he was joking. And 31st of August, he had reported. And now the garlic value chain, which was something that we never even thought about, is already in place. As I talk to you now, we are putting garlic. Garlic is being planted. It's one of the most profitable business lines that we are getting into. But more than that, he's talked about pixie oranges. He's talked about, we already have passion fruits, and he looked at them and he said, this is just, he had actually said, can I give a proposal that you don't sell any other land, and I'll just use this land to give you the kind of revenue many times that you'd need. But of course, because we have advertised and we want many diaspora communities to be involved, we've given ourselves a cap of how much land can go out. But the point I'm trying to say, what this has done, even before we have started doing the brick and mortar, even before we've started doing the streets and putting tarmac, the just connections that are coming through this vision are amazing. And I just can't wait to see how we're going to translate or transform Kenya, especially the arid areas like in the Kilifi County and other places, into some of the most productive parts of our country, especially with our own model city, which has a large-scale agribusiness opportunity, and also the agro-processing. So thank you, Waithera. Thank you, Dr. Gizuku. Anybody else? I can see Gladys. If Gladys, you're the one I'm seeing, if I'm seeing the right Gladys, maybe you can just mention a bit about the events management and what you're doing for the symposium. And then if anybody else, I'll just give one more person to do a presentation, then we'll go to the main agenda. Gladys, if you're there, you could have a minute. Gladys is also from ACE. ACE is the company that Dr. Gizuku started to support people and kind of just do acceleration for business. Okay, I'm not sure whether Gladys is in. So anybody else before we move on? If you run a business, or if you have a vision of something that is likely to work alongside what you're doing, you just have a minute or so to introduce yourself, and then we'll move on. Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Kiriko. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I'm happy I managed to make a meeting. I just wanted to also consider, as we think about the country's development in terms of soil and growth, also like a wellness program. Health is also very important, and maybe a shift of mindset on how we move forward. You know, there's working hard, but there's also an element of balancing, you know, work-life balance or whatever that might look like, but having a community that is also focused on wellness in terms of the people, the engagement with the earth, the planet, recycling, solar systems, etc. I know that that's also part of the program, but I think also, well, what is there room for wellness programs, and not just fitness centers? I mean, like centers within that community, whether it's hospitals engaging with wellness centers, where we're looking at what would you call, like the healthcare that comes before you get sick, you know? So like the projection of what might be going on with the people, the wellness, and working with doctors and so on. I'm wondering if as you're thinking about farming and how that translates to organic farming. I'm not too sure if that's also something that you're considering, and what that is in terms of nourishing the community for excellence when it comes to nutrition and wellness.
Oh, thank you, Kerigo. Thank you very much. I think you've raised one of the main reasons that we came up with this city. We were looking at the happiness index. We were also looking at wellness. And I've rushed to this because many people challenged me and said, first of all, why should it be called by your name? And why is it important that we put such a big piece of land? This is about 100 acres. And we already have a lot of volunteers who want to participate in helping to implement the whole issue of well-being. And this is not well-being that is driven by medication or those kind of health aspects. We have a hospital, and I'll show that during the other presentation. But we have a lot of free areas for people to sit, to do swimming, to walk, to enjoy the scenery and the flowers. But we also hope, and this is something that's being designed, to have places where people can just go and have that aromatherapy and also water therapy. As you can see, there's physical exercise. So this is something that is right at the heart of our budget and at the heart of the vision. Just about 3 weeks ago, I went with some experts to look at the contours of the land so that we see where would be the best place to set this, so that when the construction is being done in this area that we have set out as the Peace Gardens, we are able to offer that service. So that's number one, and it's central. And for me, something I've always desired. Yesterday, my wife and I and my daughter, we were walking in Glasgow in some of the most beautiful parks here, and just saying, somebody envisioned this maybe 300, 400, 500 years ago, and they didn't know that in 2022, we'll be walking in mature gardens, beautiful places. People are doing physical exercise in the open space. So yes, I agree with you. And this is a very, very central to the vision of the city. And it's something that will be given a lot of emphasis. So most of the profits that the city will make will go towards that. Now, coming to organic, we've set aside quite a lot of places where we grow things organically. There'll be very few things that we're going to use the modern pesticides and things like that. So we already have our own organic way of developing our pesticides and trapping the pests to avoid these very, very toxic, what do you call them? Toxic pesticides and other chemicals that are used to grow crops. Yeah, so that's a great question you have raised there, and it's something that we are not going to be ignorant. At the moment, all our production, like the pineapples we produce, are 100% organic. We don't use any chemicals on them, and that's why when they land in the supermarkets, the biggest challenge we are having just now is the production capacity and what we can supply to the supermarket. But once we hit the supermarket, the production, the demand is very high because of how we've grown them. Even when you're eating, you can feel that just natural goodness. Thank you. Thank you, Kerigo, for asking that. I think I will bring that section to an end, and I'll now bring my presentation. And in my presentation, I'll cover 2 agendas. One agenda, I apologize on behalf of Mary Ann Getz, who normally brings us updates on the symposium. She's not able to join us because of prior commitments, so I'll cover both. So I'll start first of all by just giving back the vision for the city. There are people who are here for the very first time, and so we wouldn't want you not to know what this is all about. Already you can see there are people who are fully engaged, but it's very important even for those who are joining us for the very first time to have a good idea of what the city is all about. So I think that's what I'm going to start with. And then after that, I'll just give updates on where we are on different issues. And then And then I'll talk about the symposium. That's now the most exciting thing because people have heard so much about the project. You'll now come, touch, and feel and experience what is already going on the ground. So basically, Proximity Point City is one of the Wakanda cities that are being designed around Africa, in the African continent. We are the city number 2. The first one is in Ghana. This vision originally, different people have come up with different aspects of what they would do in the continent, but ADDI, which is headed by Her Excellence, Dr. Arikanda Chiombori Kwao, was just trying to define the importance of why we should do similar things. It was around the same time that personally, I was starting to develop a lot of interest in the north coast of Kenya in a place called Marafa in Malindi. I already had acquired some land, and I had a group of Kenyans in the diaspora, mainly from the UK, who had also been showing interest, some of whom are in this meeting tonight. And as we started to discuss, it got quite exciting. And therefore, I got a group of us, and we were able to acquire quite a lot of land so that we could be able to capture this vision and fulfill that which we believe that God has called us to do as people who have spent a lot of their time outside Kenya. Personally, I landed here in the United Kingdom in 1991, the 5th of June. So it's now coming to almost, I think, it's 31, 32 years. And it's a long time. It's a long time to be out of your home country. And we felt that we just didn't want to go back to Kenya the way we were. And one of the things that we thought would make a big difference is to put together the ideas, the visions, to put together our networks and our resources and come up with something exceptional, come up with something that would be Kenyan, but with a twink of the experience that we have had outside. So mainly, this city has a number of aspects. The first aspect, as many of you have spoken, is the knowledge transfer. And that is, we are hoping to put a very unique university in the city. And that university is a progression of what people like Dr. David Githuku are doing, what we are doing in Deed Institute, and maybe some of you who are in other fields, bringing those ideas, compacting the opportunity of learning and transferring of skills and enterprise. We're also looking at residential properties where people will come and build their own homes and live there, or build homes as their second home so that you're able to spend your time. Like for me, when I come back to Glasgow, I feel I'm at home. And when I go to Kenya, I would like to have a place that I feel I'm at home. And even when I'm not in the place, I can use it for Airbnb or other revenue generating aspects. The other thing that we saw was to create a membership so that we can have a concerted efforts of being able to achieve very clear goals. And we started that, and I think that's the best thing that we did, because although the membership is not as big as we'd hope it to be, you can just hear even just 2 or 3 people speaking and seeing how the convergency of their knowledge, of their skill, of their experience is able to impact on the growth of this city, and thereby growing the country and growing the nation. The other aspect that was critical about this vision was the whole idea of agribusiness and agro-processing. Personally, I had not loved agriculture for many years for various reasons. I'll not be able to divulge those reasons in this meeting, but something just happened in 2013, 2014, and I just developed such an interest in agribusiness. And those of you who have visited me in Marafa, I can see quite a number of you here in this meeting who have come to Malindi. You've enjoyed the beautiful pineapples that we produce. Some of you who are there recently, you are able to enjoy our passion fruit. I'm not sure whether Faith Mboro is in this meeting, but she actually wanted she wanted to carry some of the passion back to America. I know Washo Dirango carried some, and then we have a lovely cassavas and all that. But what is exciting is that when we started the agribusiness aspect, we were confronted with a lot of challenges. And what we have done, using our knowledge, using our skills, we are able now to improve, or we're able to partner with people. Last week, the week before last, I had experts from the Kenyan government coming to help us get the best way of extracting water, because we've spent a lot of money trying to sink boreholes, and the money in the past has gone to waste. But last week in Marafa, in my neighborhood, water came out. Not our borehole, I must confess, but one of the neighbors who was able to get water. And we found about 5 boreholes within the agribusiness campus, which we are going to very soon get the water out. The vision is to do it better than Israel and get the best quality produce at the minimum cost possible, and then get the best market out there so that we are able to revive the area. And then the last thing is also to form a social media group where people exchange ideas and they're able to uplift one another in the vision and make things happen. Once a year, we'll be having a symposium. This year, we are calling it the Groundbreaking Symposium because it's happening for the first time. But that is something that we'll do subsequently. We have designed amazing facilities for meetings and events. So it's something that we hope to progress on with. In summary, the city is designed to offer. Let me just take you there quickly so that you're able to see. Where is that? Yeah, I think this one. Yeah, so, sorry. Yeah, so the city is designed to offer a number of features, and I'm not going to go through all the features because of time, but I'll just give you about 3 or 4 categories of what we are going to have, and then I'll also show you the entire complete vision when we accomplish it in 10 years. So we have 3 levels of residential areas. So we have the quarter acre, half acre, 1 acre actually, and 2 acres. In each of these sections, we have very clear designs. Just now, we are in negotiation with a company that manufactures construction materials, and they want to set up their factory within the city so that cost of construction remains what it is now or goes slightly lower. The reason when I say it remains what it is because since we did our bill of quantities, cost of things have gone high. So these are some of the designs that we've come up with for different houses. The designer or the architect is our technical leader, and therefore he's able to negotiate with you and discuss with you to make sure that's available. The other interesting aspect is that there are groups or circles that want to do apartment blocks. Just now we have 2 that are already showing interest and we're in negotiation. And what we are going to have in the social housing area is groups coming up and doing apartments blocks and selling them all.
This Nikajua is pointing to something.
Retaining them for sorry, can somebody help me to mute? I can hear somebody else talking in the background. If David, if you could help me to mute.
Yes, muted.
Okay. Yeah, so we have these apartments, and this will come in quite soon, as soon after the groundbreaking, because there are people who want to set up factories. Dr. Giduku talked of people like Lima. We're just concluding our agreements with them, and they're going to set up their manufacturing factory in the city, and therefore this accommodation will go in handy. So we've allowed a lot of space for everything we are doing because we consider that that's one of the biggest challenge in places where you've done good developments in Kenya. Houses are squeezed in, good houses, but you don't have proper free spaces. The other thing, we are going to have our cathedral park, and the cathedral park will have a place for worship. We are also going to have conferencing facilities because this is something we want to do quite a lot. We're also going to have a learning park in the cathedral park, and that's mainly for people to learn about our culture, our tradition, and things that have been bypassed over the years. We also intend to have a commercial facilities. We are in very advanced discussions with Naivas Supermarket, who are already on the ground, and they'll be setting up their shopping malls. But we also want to open for other people who may have other business interests. We have quite a number of interesting designs on our commercial facilities, as you can see. I've just gone past something that is of great interest. This is going to be a state-of-the-art modern theater or hall that can be used both for entertainment, but also for conferencing and similar facilities. So I'm just trying to skip this quite fast because some of you have gone through this before and I don't want to tire you. And those who have not gone through, I have a very well prepared YouTube video that has all the details that you can be able to see. We're planning to have a primary, secondary, a primary and secondary school where people in the diaspora, if they want to take their children back, just to have a feel of what it is like in Kenya, they'll be able to put them in boarding facilities and they can be able to visit them and experience that. So this is our hospital. There's a few organizations in the diaspora very interested in developing that. And this is the Prosperity Park. Now the focus of this is to give exclusive high-end tourism destinations. We have a lot of different kind of tourism in Kenya, but bearing in mind that we're in the North Coast, just a few kilometers to the Indian Ocean, a few kilometers to the Tsavo National Park, very near Malindi town, where a new harbor is being developed. And I don't have time, but if you're interested, I can share with you the plans and the designs of what Malindi is going to look like. So this becomes very strategic for people who want to go on that high-end hospitality industry. So I'm just going to skip through that. Those are just amazing. Also, that's the other thing. This is our industrial park. As you've heard already, we are discussing, we want to attract quite a number of businesses to do that, but also in our own focus, we want to do agro-processing so that whatever we produce here, we take it to the end level so that it finds itself in the shelves of the supermarket. We don't have to sell the raw material for other people to process on our behalf. But also, we have a lot of salt production in the area and many other minerals that we could see ourselves processing and also assembling in the country. I spoke about the Peace Gardens, so I'll not stop there. I will go to the airstrip. This is getting very exciting. Again, about 3 weeks ago, I had a conversation with the owner of the Kenya School of Flying, and he was so excited about the possibility of us partnering so that they use our airstrip also as a training school. We already have partners here in the UK. We're looking at the maintenance and the repairs of aircrafts in Kenya, which is not something that has happened before. Most of the time, major repairs of engines have to be exported into UK and other parts of the world. So that's something that has a lot of potential as well. So basically, that's a quick run through the vision. But if you're interested in more information about it, you'd be most welcome to discuss with me or any of the other key team members. The business plan, sorry, this is not what I want to show. The master plan is complete. This is what I want to. Oh, it's opening the wrong document. Don't worry. I just wanted to say that the master plan is all complete. The plots are all allocated, and I know so many people who have already bought would like me to update on the titles. We are working very closely. As you know, most of the government offices almost went quiet about 2 or 3 months before election. And just now people are getting back into the office, but we're still able to access the offices, and we're still able to discuss with the people there. And we are hoping within no time, we're really trusting God that within a very short time, we'll be able to share the title deeds with the owners of the properties, and therefore be able to accelerate. The hope is very high. We've talked to all the key people that are involved, and the same message that this is a high priority project. It's now recognized by the Kenyan government as a diaspora project. It's something that people want to put efforts in. Those who attended one of the meetings of One Voice Consortium, you had some of the very influential people in the government saying they would like to be involved in supporting in any way. So we're making that progress, and very shortly we should announce how far we are with the titles. The final thing I would just like to talk about this before I go to talk about the symposium is that this evening we'll be giving a small discount to those who have not yet managed to come in. We're giving a 5% discount, and the reason for doing that discretionary offer is because there are people who said they never got to hear about this. They heard about it when we first came with PLO to launch it in the US, and then for some reason they never got further communication. And so we thought tonight we'll give that one-off discount for people who never got a chance, but they would like to participate. Now, everybody could be asking, so what is the pricing? The way the city is divided, it's in 4 areas. I just want to get there. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, so we have the Pokea Groves. Those are quarter-acre properties, and each is going at 2,000. That is the land alone. Then you'd have to do your own development, and I have to emphasize that. And then the second one is Fahali, which is half-acre at 2,800. The other one is Ushindi. Ushindi Gardens, you can either get an acre or 2 acres. So it's 4,000 or 8,000 per plot. And the last one is the Agribusiness Campus, which is in the Ushindi campus. The Ushindi Agribusiness Campus is 3,250 for 5 acres. Now, people want to know, what does this entail? What we are doing as the company is to make sure that we open all the roads so that you are able to access. Now, these are not, let me talk about the campus first. So it's making it accessible. When you come to the area for the first time, you go through the bush. So it's quite, that's where it is at the moment. So as the company, we open those roads. We then give you the support to be able to settle in that area in terms of helping with the initial preparation for your land, helping you to access the seedlings and whatever else is needed, and sometimes giving you the expertise if you want to venture into an area that you have not ventured. Once you start harvesting, that's what we guarantee all our people. We are happy to uptake your fruits from the farm into the market, or we are able to channel you directly into the market and you can be able to sell. There's been a few challenges in that journey because obviously different people have different ways of doing things. But if you follow our advice from the beginning to the end and do what we recommend, then we can almost guarantee you the end. There's been a challenge in this last season, and it's important to talk about that. You all know that there's been serious drought in Kenya. So the production has not been as good as we envisaged. but we hope that that is something that we improve. So that's in the agribusiness, but we are coming up with other value chains. So we've talked just in this meeting about the garlic value chain, the passion fruit value chain, the cashew nut value chain, and the mango value chain, and the cassava value chain. In terms of high returns, pineapple for me still remains to be a very interesting one because of the minimal input on that. As long as you keep your farm clean, you really have to keep it very clean. Of all weeds, of all bushes, consistently. You don't have to do any chemicals for that. So that's in the agribusiness campus. In terms of the residential areas, we are offering to make access roads. We're going to work into providing power, both mini grid and main grid. And we are also going to provide water, and we are going to provide, I've talked of accessibility and internet connectivity. So the price is not commensurate to the services we are offering, but we are offering that for the starters. So if you come back in 5 years and the product that you're buying for $2,000 will be $200,000, that will be just because so much has happened. And that's how we're going to recover some of the costs that we are going to incur. So we want, first of all, to offer a product, and then once the product has taken off, will recover through John Camletri and others who wait until the things happen. So I think that's it. I've given you a very good brief about the city. I'll conclude by talking about the symposium, and then I'll open an opportunity for questions and clarification. So our symposium, or our groundbreaking ceremony, is scheduled for the 9th, 10th, and the 11th of December this year. Some of you have already booked. You've already booked your venue, where you're going to stay, and the likes. Those who have not had a chance to book, please consider that, because then you'll have come and seen where the venue is. So we are encouraging people to arrive on the 8th. We plan to have a cocktail when people arrive on the 8th. And then the 9th is a full day itinerary for plenary session. So we have speakers, we have investors, we have the government officials, we have the county government officials, so that we are able to ask questions. We'll even have the Ministry of Land right there. One of our keynote speakers is from the ministry. So if there's anything that you have not been sure about the project, then you'll be able to clarify that on the 9th. We'll also have people showcasing. So if you have a business or if there's anything you'd like to do, you'll be able to do that on the 9th. On the 10th, we'll be in the campus, the agribusiness campus, and that's where we are going to have our nyama choma. We are going to eat pineapples and cassava, and you see exactly what happens. Some of you who have already started and you have planted, you'll be able to see how your crops are faring, and those who have not started, you'll be motivated to start. On the 11th, we're going to the city. As you know, nothing much has happened in the city, but it will be good for you to go and see the grounds where we plan to do the city and where we plan to develop everything around that. I've been notified that the 12th is a public holiday, and we want to put some kind of celebrations. We have not decided exactly how to do that. Now, for the conference, that is from the 8th arrival, 9th, 10th, 11th, the conference fee for members, if you're a signed up member, is $150 US. If you're not a member, it's $200 US. Please commit yourself, because we have a final number that we can accommodate. We have taken a very good hotel. That money includes your transfer from the airport to the hotel. It includes your meals in between, because if you're bed and breakfast, we are able to give you tea, lunch, and 4 o'clock tea. It also includes the nyama choma, and all those nice things we are going to have in the Ushindi Agribusiness Campus. It includes the transport to the campus. We'll also take you to our other sites. We have a site along the beach with the sand dunes. We'll take you there. I'll be sharing those pictures in the groups and in the Facebook shortly. So for $150, you're getting all that, plus the fact that we'll be able to meet the cost of our guests and the conference venue. So it's not much for what we are offering you. It's again important that you sign up. This is the membership. This is the sign up facility online. So if you just go online, you put your details, sign up, then we can know that you're planning to come. So the 200 is for non-members. If you're a member, it's 150. Yeah, I think I've covered that, and I've given you the details of the conference. Marianne, who is not with us, has organized some holidays after the symposium, and they're all very discounted. So if you'd like to participate or take your family for a holiday at high discounts, then that is going to be possible. I think that's all about the symposium and about the City of Return. We'd like to encourage anybody who wants to participate to let us know. If you'd like to purchase, just go online and you find those opportunities online. And once you've been able to pay for whatever level, then you'll be able to get a 5% refund of the level that you have bought. I would also like to emphasize, and this is very, very important, that this is the first diaspora project of great magnitude that is happening, and it's happening with the diaspora across different parts of the world. As you can just see in this meeting today, I can even see some of my friends from Australia. I can see people from Europe, from the United Kingdom. There are people from different parts of the United States, and we hope that this will continue to expand. We believe so much in this vision. We've dedicated the next 10 years as our full undivided attention to make sure that this happens, and it happens to the best. And it's only God that the government has also declared a ministry, and we believe that we are going to really leverage on the resources in that ministry to make sure that we achieve the best results. So I think I'm going to stop there. I'm going to allow a few questions, and then we are going to end our meeting. If there's anybody with a very specific question, you can ask or you can text, and Dr. David Giduk will read them out for us, any questions that are coming, and we'll be able to respond. Dr. if you're able to read through the questions that will be found on the screen.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
One of my questions was, we see the price of the like the images of how much the contractor is estimating to build a property that looks like what's in the image, but are we able to have any communication with the contractor? And if so, would you mind like sending or emailing the contractor's name, contact, and organization?
Excellent. So the way we are managing that, we have a technical director, and he's also an architect by profession, and also Lance, as you have said, works alongside with in a consortium with other experts. So we'll give you the details. Let me get your name. You didn't say your name, and in my screen you appear as M. So if you give me your details, I'll link you up with Martin, and you can be able to have that discussion as soon as possible. What's your name?
M-O-J-A, Moja.
Moja.
Williams, W-I-L-L-I-A-M-S.
Okay, so Moja, if you share with us your contacts, either on this or through the group that you came in through, we'll be able to link you straight away. Martin is already speaking to a lot of people who are considering construction, and you're able to look at the BQs and everything and just come up with a good conclusion. So that will be possible. So if you want to just drop your contacts in the group here, we'll be able to pick them get that sorted out. Thank you, Moja.
Thank you. I just linked my email in the chat.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, there are a couple of questions here. So to clarify, the $150, is that for accommodation, transportation, and meals? And that's from Jane Chege.
Okay, yeah, so thank you very much for clarifying. That's just the conference fee. Accommodation really varies depending on what kind of accommodation you want. Even in the hotel where we're doing the conference, there are various rates depending whether it's a single occupy, bed and breakfast, a half board, all that. So what we'll do, Jen, again, if you want to drop your contacts, we can send you the whole list. And there are a variety of venues around the conference that you can stay. The Airbnbs, the hotels ranging. This is a tourist destination, so you can really choose what you want. So the 150 is purely for your transfer from the airport. We'll be offering 10 o'clock tea, lunch, and 4 o'clock tea. When we're traveling to the various destinations, you'll be able to be transported. So that's where the cost for 150 comes in. Okay.
Okay.
You can read that question. Yeah.
Yeah. What exactly is the price of Ushindi Agribusiness for the 5 acres? And that's from Addison.
3,250, and you take off 5%. So once you've bought that, you get a refund of 5% for the 3,250, and that's only for the people who commit to buy in this meeting today.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, so some people have sent their emails and they're asking. So I assume, Prof, that you will have, or Eunice, you will have this information for the different accommodation info. And that, yes, I suppose that can also be posted onto the WhatsApp group. Helen is asking, could you please provide an update on the title deeds? My apologies if you had already provided this.
Thank you, Helen. Yes, I had already provided update, and it's just simple and straightforward. The process had been completed. I was informed by end of July, but then with all the electioneering and everything, things seems to have gone quiet, and we're just waiting for the official activities to come back. As you may know, when Madam CS spoke to us in June, she was really promising that we would have everything finalized before the election. So I've been following on that promise. Actually, just before I left Kenya for the UK, I went to her office and I could see the progress is quite advanced. And we're just hoping that the printings and everything will have started and they'll be able to provide that for us. But now, as I said, we applied for the project to become a project of national strategic importance. So it's not just something that we are trying to push on the side. It's something that has serious recognition, both in the government, in the survey of Kenya, in the lands department. And so we are really hoping. And as I said at the beginning, those who are not there, because of the strategic positioning and because of some of us have been mentioned to be involved in the new Ministry of the Diaspora, whether we will say, I'm just talking about myself, for instance, if I'm either going to be right inside in the ministry or I'll be an advisor. They're talking of setting up a committee. I know that we'll participate fully in that. And so it will be much easier now to push our agendas and get these things finished faster, because those are the reasons why we wanted to have a ministry, because we start big projects, we invest heavily, but sometimes it takes longer for us to get what is entitled to us. So Helen, just like us, just a very short while, and we'll be able to get our titles for this area. But I can guarantee, and this is something you can call the lands office in Malindi or in Kilifi or even in Nairobi, they'll tell you the adjudication is now complete, all paperwork has been submitted, and we're just waiting for the titles to be printed. Yeah. Eunice, could you kindly take all the emails for me the people are sending, and please note what people are requesting so that you will be able to respond to them immediately.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other question, David? Have you seen? Can you see any other question?
No other question on the chat.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has questions.
Okay, just as we wait, if there's anybody else, and please feel free to raise up your hand. I'll be able to see if you're raising your hand. We're just about to finish. I was aiming to finish at 8:30. We have about 2 minutes to go. I just want to say that this project is generating a lot of interest. And so what we are hoping to do is to strategize it as one of the kind of flagship diaspora projects. When that time comes, we'd like to request for all your support. First of all, for your own personal benefit, because of what you put in will have a lot of value if the whole government and if other agencies are pointing out to us as the first diaspora project. But the other thing that will be critical for you supporting that bid is because there's some things that are statutory that we should be able to get. And I was talking to the Ministry of Works, and I was being told the projects of that nature, we could easily attract some of the road and infrastructure funds that are already available in the country, and thereby accelerating the project even faster. Okay, I can see Sherry from Cincinnati, and Gladys from Atlanta. We'll go in that order. Sherry first, and then Gladys will follow.
Hi, Professor. Thank you for making some time for us. So my question is, for those of us who are interested in farming, I know you've talked vaguely about support on the ground, but specifically, obviously, I know there's quite a bit of us who probably have never been even to Malindi, so we are not very familiar with the terrain or the soil. So what are we talking specifically, how we can get some help and some advice on which is the best way to go forward, like which crop and all that kind of stuff?
Thank you, Sherry, and congratulations for you and Elik for coming in. And you're very much near my neighborhood, so that's very good. So we have now hired or appointed as a member of staff a very highly qualified agronomist or farmer with an Israeli background, but with a lot of experience. David talked about him earlier on. So one of the things I've requested him to be doing is when somebody like you makes an inquiry, he's able to visit your site, take the soil sample, and be able to advise you exactly what is the best thing to grow in that area. Then, if you need now our services as Ushindi Agribusiness Campus to help you from end to end, we've now come up with various rates of making sure that we are able to give you full support. We are able to give you labor, we are able to give you management, and we are able to help you with marketing, because the biggest problem that people face is marketing. So those are some of the initial benefits you can get. With our partnership now with Waidera Gaido is that we might have companies that are willing to supply some of the equipments. For instance, if you want to do something that needs irrigation through drip irrigation, we have a company that we are negotiating with. We've also now negotiated, and I'm so sorry, I forgot to invite the bank. We've negotiated with a bank. Once you've been able to do, say, 1 or 2 acres as a pilot using your own funds, and then now you want to scale up to 10, 20, 30 acres, this bank is willing to fund your activities. So say if it's drip irrigation, if you want to sink a borehole, whatever else you want to do. One of the things that we have discussed with them is that they will fund the initial maybe 2 or 3 boreholes, and I'll pay, the farm will pay for that, then we can be able to supply water to the people who are nearer at a fee. But going ahead after that, if you really wanted to do your own, whatever is more convenient, we'll be able to support you. So yes, one of the reasons we're in this, for me, some of you may not be aware, I'm also a minister of the gospel, and I see this as the next phase of my ministry, where I help people to achieve their goal. It's not easy because there's some factors that I'm not in full control, but we'll try to give you maximum support. And with somebody like Peter now on ground, he'll be able to even let us know, because if Israel are able to produce food at any time and no drop of water in Israel goes to waste, they're going to help us get the best out of it. So I think that's a bit long-winded answer, but it helps. Is that okay, Shiri? Is it Sherry or Shili?
Cheryl.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And pass my love to Ed.
Will do. I think he's on the line, actually.
Oh, he's on the line. Oh, I've not seen him. Okay. Then we have Gladys from Atlanta, Georgia. Over to you, Gladys.
Hey, Professor.
Hi,
Thank
Gladys.
you for this opportunity. Yeah, my main question is about the membership. Do you become a member when you purchase the land, or how do you go about this?
Okay, as David Giduku, Dr. David Giduku clearly outlined at the beginning, the membership gives you more than land, and it gives you more than just being part, because he's just himself said the many ways that he's being able to utilize his membership. So I want to use him as a good example, who is a member, actually a contractor member. He's bought land both in the city and in the agribusiness campus. And now, like through him, we've been able to appoint the agronomist, and I think he's going to benefit greatly by being a contractor who has introduced us to an expert. But there are other things, and maybe, David, if you don't mind me sharing this, because you are the first one to participate in things that we are not exposing to everybody, because these are only exposed to members, but we've successfully and waiting now for a conclusion, applied to the USAID for a grant to work between our DEED Institute, Ushindi Agribusiness Campus, and ACE and other partners. So when you become a member, there are more benefits than owning a land. So you can continue to hear what is happening if you're an owner, but you may miss some important opportunities if you're not a member. I don't know whether that's clear, Gladys.
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay.
And maybe if I may add, there are different member levels. So there's the $100 is the social member, and then the $500 is for professional member, and then the $1,000 is for a contractor developer. So I'm a $1,000 member, but the social member is where you get, I think what Professor was saying, as a social member, we have had separate meetings for the people who have paid for that membership. And so you get information about, opportunities for discounts or, different things that are coming up that Professor talked about. So, okay. Yeah, but I think what he has done today is that he has opened it up fully. So even I think this 5% discount typically would go to members, but now I think he has opened it up to everybody who has decided to spend their time in this call today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Gladys, just as David has said, we are getting so much coming on our way. And even some people asking us, we want to do this with you. And then we say, okay, you not do it with us, but we have a member in that area. I'll give an example with somebody like Sylvester. There are people who want to do what you call what is it called, Sylvester? This thing to do with the environment.
Waste management.
Environment management, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when they approached us, we said, yeah, we'll be happy to involve you, but we already have a contractor, a 1,000 dollar member who is a contractor who you can work with. So these people will come in, they will invest, but purely Sylvester, because he's the one who is a member and his family, they will learn the business because they have that right. They already claimed it as being members. And that's what we are encouraging people to do, because once you have entered into a space, that space is yours and you've got it. A time will come when it will be competitive. There'll be 4, 5, 6 people looking for the same thing. But the area you're able to enter and start utilizing that chance, then that's yours. Okay, I can see Moja is back again. Moja, you wanted to ask another question?
Yes,
Moja,
sir.
yes, go on. Yeah.
All right, so the first one is at groundbreaking, are the plots clearly marked? Like, would you have like an explicit line or kind of directory of how much land your exact space takes up?
Good question. The lands are not exactly marked at the moment. You have it in we have it in the master plan. The reason that was a bit of a challenge is because we have to first of all open the access in the various areas so that the surveyors are able to mark the specific plot. So I don't think we'll have been able to close that bridge during the groundbreaking, but those are the things now that will follow subsequently after that. But when you go to the agribusiness campus, which we started a few years ago, everybody is able to now see their beacons. You physically go and see your point. So we're systematic, and I think I had said this right from the beginning, that most of the initial work was happening in the agribusiness campus. And once we now do the groundbreaking of the city, then we'll start now progressing on that.
Understood. The second question is, sorry, is there a map of all of the different campuses inclusive in like one kind of diagram or image so that we know like where our plot is in respective to spaces?
There's that. So yeah. So sorry for interrupting. So if you're in the city, there's one big map, and maybe I can show it. Let me see whether it's possible to do that here. Same thing with the agribusiness campus. Each of these have, I don't know why this is giving me that. Let me just try to shut this. Every time I try to open, then we need this sort of, yeah, there it is. The Ushindi Garden. So if you tell me what you bought, I can almost point it out for you right here. So are you in the city or are you in the farm?
In the city.
Yeah, so which section of the city did you buy?
I don't have it in front of me right now, but I'm seeing the diagram of the different.
I think you bought the 1 acre.
Okay.
1 acre is here. That's the 1 acre section. If you zero in, as you can see the way I'm trying to do it, it's just that I'm doing this on, yeah, it's coming up. So it takes you exactly to your plot. So say, for instance, you bought plot number 87. It tells you exactly the size of your plot. So it's 43,587.19. It shows you that you have a frontage, the road at the front, and it also shows you the kind of community, or what would I call it, the court that you're in. So they're all divided with different courts, so you're able to see exactly that. Now, according to our surveyor, this is something that they already have very specific, but what has not been done is just to put the beacons because obviously of the infrastructure. And once the infrastructure is done, that will be quite straightforward for them.
I think what I meant was like a map, not of just the layout, more so like if I were to open like, you know, like Google Maps type of thing, would I know exactly? Like...
Yes. We have that. Actually, if you go on our website, you'll be able to go to Google Map. There's a point. Let me see whether I can be able to open that just now. And it will take you right to the city. And in the city, you'll then be able to be taken right to the area, exactly where the area is. I'm just trying to see whether I can be able to get that from the website.
Perfect.
Yeah. Mm.
And then the last question was about, like, small stuff like, will there ever become, so there's a membership, but will there ever become like the necessity for like an HOA or something like that? Because in the future, there's things like trash and there's things like, other municipalities that are connected throughout houses. How do we,
Yeah, those are normally called service charges, or in other, there are different names on different properties. So basically what happens with our city, we are going to have governance. So we'll have the governance for the whole city, and then we'll have governance for the different areas like Ushindi, Pendo, and all that. And then in those, there'll be also the small, like what you'd call a gated community, and they'll have that. So what you do, some people want to have more services than others. So the service charges really depends on what you want to have in your common areas. For instance, in one common area, people say they'll do their own gardens. In other common area, people say we want to have somebody doing our garden. But like for the standard services like uplift of litter, that's garbage, things like water supply and all that, they'll be centralized by the boards. We have about 11 different boards, and one of them is the water board. So water does water and sewage. We have technology board, we have all that. So those boards will manage and bring in the costs that are incurred for different things. As a smart city, we want to cut cost to the bare minimum so that it becomes an attractive place for people to live. We want people to have minimum cost living in the city and maximum enjoyment and benefit. And that's why we're calling people together so that we are able to make these decisions, we're able to bring the light technology, we're able to do other activities outside the city that generates income for the city. And therefore, people who live in the city become net beneficiaries of those activities, like in the industrial park, in the conferencing centers and things like that. So the gross benefit trickles down to the members.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, there are a couple of questions. I think the same person, Galaxy S10e. I paid, I don't know who that is. Maybe you can let us know who you are. I paid for membership in February, but I'm not sure if I'm on the email list. So that was one. And then,
could the person please type their names or just speak it out, and Eunice can capture that immediately so that that is in the system and should be able to verify. Could that be Jackie? Could it be Jackie? Jackie Obando? Okay, anyway, whoever it is.
Susan Kamoyo.
Yeah?
Susan Kamoyo.
Susan Kamoyo. Eunice, could you rise with Susan, just get her details and make sure that she's in the system. Yeah.
And she said, I paid for a half acre and was advised to wait for allocation.
Yeah.
So I don't know what my plot number is. I would have loved to see it during the groundbreaking.
Excellent. Again, we'll follow that with you and make sure that you have the information and have the allocation. And if there's anybody else, I know there was a transition between Eunice and Maggie, and there are people who could be having pending communication, which was either through WhatsApp or telephone, so it was not by email. If there's anybody who doesn't have anything they need in terms of communication, information, allocation, please feel free to reach out to Eunice. Eunice, type your email address there and your WhatsApp number, and she'll be able to follow that up and make sure that you have the right information and the full support that you need for that. So Eunice would give her contact. Please, anybody who may be having anything outstanding, you'll be able to communicate. Eunice will also be giving updates, especially on the symposium and also on the title deeds processing. So if you get the information, she'll be updated and she'll update everybody on that.
There's one more question. What will be the mode of payment for 5 acres and how do we commit? That was from Winnie.
Okay, Winnie, if you go to the website, maybe I can take you through that again. Let me see how possible that is. This is the website. So how do I go back? Okay. So Winnie, if you come here and just press that button. So this website is proximitypointcity.com. Proximitypointcity.com. You press buy land, and you then go, you choose if it's 5 acres, you just click 5 acres there, and then proceed on to the bottom, and then go continue, and then you go there, you fill your details here, continue to take you all the way through to exit, and you'll be able to pay through the system. The other one, we can just text you and you can pay directly through the bank, and that would be much easier. So we have a Bank of America account. So Eunice, if you take that contact, we can also send Winnie the direct information on how she can be able to do that. So those are the two options. Going through the bank might be an easier one for you because then you don't have to struggle with everything. And also you can just be able to pay less the 5%. So, but if you go through the website, you'd have to pay the full amount and then get a refund of 5% because the website doesn't take off the discount at the moment. It takes the whole amount. Okay, any other question? I think all the questions have been answered. I want to appreciate all of you for joining, and let's use this as our vehicle for lobbying, for discussing with the government, even if what you need lobbied for is not on this forum, we will be able to do that for you. We have a full access. We'll be able to talk to the necessary people and make sure that we are able to support you. And that includes people who have had historical issues or difficulties in the past. You are part of the diaspora community. We can be able to support you and represent your interest now as a group that has its own membership. Okay, thank you, George. We have also seen that. Eunice is typing her email address just now so that we are all able to get the information when she's done with that. Okay, so we give you a deadline of Monday evening. Everybody will be able to get the information by end of business on Monday. If you have not received it, you just let me know. But by Monday evening, anybody who has asked for any information, I'm committing on behalf of the Proximity Point group that you'll be able to get your information by Monday evening. So I think with that, I'm going to request somebody to pray for us. Let me see who will be privileged to take that opportunity. Just trying, I came out of the YouTube, so, okay, let's get a volunteer because I can't see the names. I think I came out of the place where I'm seeing people, yeah?
Maybe just before we do that, I think there are a couple of questions related to, please, can you send payment information for Bank of America? So I don't know if that's something maybe after this meeting, it can be sent on.
Or we can just post it, maybe to make it easier, if we just post it here on the chat. Would you prefer that we just put it here? So, yeah. Okay, let me just type it. David, do you have it handy? Or I know I have it. But...
No, I don't.
Okay, just 1 minute to see. Okay, I think if the person requesting just drops us drops us a request, and we'll be able to share it because I don't seem to have it handy just now.
Yeah, a couple of people. So
then I think let me just get it because it's not fun, so that we make it easy for everybody. Just 1 minute. I actually have it on the phone. Yeah. Okay, we can answer maybe one more question as we do that. We'll just type the information for you very quickly.
Maybe just to ask one more question.
Yeah.
You showed us the plots and the roads as well. So just now, are the roads sort of part of the plots, or have those been demarcated separately so that you don't expect your plot to sort of make part of the road eventually?
Yeah, what we have done, there were two kinds of people purchasing. There are people who maybe would have purchased a bulk piece of land, and then they said, could we get that coming out as part of the plots? And the people who did that, what we did, we just worked out the space of land that would provide for the road. So that if, say, for instance, you had bought 30 acres, and then you said you wanted your 30 acres to be part of the city, that happened. So it's now provided for. There are people who just bought plots, and if you came and bought a plot, what would have happened is that the plot would have been allocated with a piece of land, the plot would have been demarcated, and then you'd have the road. So nothing else comes out of that. So it's just those two groups, because at the very initial stage, there was quite a number of open opportunities for people either to buy a block of land or just to buy the plots. After the plots were subdivided, then one just could only buy the plot. They couldn't buy a bulk piece of land. Yeah, I'm not sure whether that has that properly answered the question.
Yeah, that answers the question.
Yeah, I'm trying to post this, and just I've realized I was posting it to an individual person. Let me put it to everyone, because when I tried to do that, the person might have just left the meeting. So, yeah, so where is this? For some reason, my computer is not allowing me. Let me try this. My computer is not allowing me to post the information. I don't know where the problem is.
I have shared it before somewhere.
I have it. Oh, okay. I think this might allow me now. I think because I was sharing, it was not allowing me. So let's see whether. Okay. No, I'm not being able to. Okay, yeah, I think I'll do it here. I'm not being able to share the chat. I don't understand why. Okay.
Can you share on WhatsApp?
Oh yeah, I can share on WhatsApp. Actually, it's actually on WhatsApp.
If you can share it on WhatsApp, I can cut and paste it to the chat for those who are not on the WhatsApp group.
It's already there, but let me send it to you personally. Oh, there you go. I've shared it on the group. Can you see it on the group?
Yes.
Okay. The only thing is that Zell is wrong, so we might need to change the Zell. You can change the Zell, I think is it proximity point Zell?
Proximity Zell.
Proximity Zell, yeah. Okay. Okay, I think we've covered everything. I want to thank everybody for attending. And then I want to request Sophie, if you're still in the meeting, to finish for us with the word of prayer. Sophie, are you with us? Yeah, I can see you. Oh, no, that's not Sophie. Sophie, are you in?
No, I don't see her.
I think Sophie has left. I request Waidera Gaido to close for us with a word of prayer. Okay, I think Waidera is not also there, so.
Oh,
okay, Waidera, okay, go on.
Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for this wonderful meeting that you have given us. Indeed, wherever we are across the world, it is the day that you have made. We rejoice and are glad in it. For those of us who are beginning the day, Father, we ask you to bless the day, my God, and prosper the work of our hands. For those of us who are in the night and about to sleep, my God, we ask you to watch over us, O Lord. You who does not sleep nor slumber, my God, but watches over Israel, we ask you to watch over us, my God. And even the great conversations that we have had during this meeting, my God, we pray for wisdom, we pray for understanding, we pray for knowledge, we pray for insight, my God, and that, my Lord, we will not miss out an opportunity, my God, but like the sons of Issachar, my God, we will, oh my Father God, have the wisdom, oh God, to see and understand the seasons and the times, my God. Every one of us who desires to be part of this project, my Lord, that you will bless the work of their hands, my God. Prosper the work of their hands, my God, that each and every one of them would be able to have a piece of home, mighty one of Israel, and that they would always have the opportunity to return at their will, mighty one of Israel. We honor you and we bless you, because this idea, mighty one of Israel, could not have been, my Lord, without the mind of Christ. So therefore, Lord, we pray that you watch over each and every one in this meeting, my Lord. May your angels go before them. May you surround them with a hedge of fire, my God. And indeed, we look forward to the day we shall come together in Malindi, hopefully, my God, in December, mighty one of Israel, and say that indeed the Lord has done us well, my God, and celebrate, my Lord God, as a family, a diaspora family, my God, and as a Kenyan family. We honor you and we bless you. For it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, Waidera, for leading us in that concluding prayer. If you are in the meeting today and you are hoping or planning to join the symposium, please do communicate with us as soon as possible. We're trying to put everything together, and it will be good to put everything together with you in mind. God bless you. Have a very, very good evening, and may you know the true joy and the true peace of God that surpasses human understanding. God bless you. Good night.